Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Monday, May 20th, 2024. The 29 Palms man killed in a collision Thursday morning on Highway 62 has been identified. The two-car collision near Indian Canyon Drive in Desert Hot Springs just before 2:30 a.m. left a man from 29 Palms dead and a Yucca Valley man injured. Jonathan Tucker, a 22-year-old from 29 Palms, was declared dead at the scene of the collision by the Riverside County Coroner's Office. The CHP reports that a Hyundai was in the process of making a left turn onto North Indian Canyon Drive from Highway 62 westbound when it collided with a Dodge traveling eastbound. After the initial crash, the Dodge continued in a northeasterly direction and collided into a streetlight on the northeast corner of the intersection. The CHP says that neither drugs nor alcohol appeared to be a factor in the collision. Two small fires within a few miles of each other, but 24 hours apart, sent black smoke billowing into the sky in Yucca Valley this weekend. On Friday at around 10:15 a.m., a small fire broke out in the wash between the Center for Healthy Generations and the flea market just off of Sunny Slope Drive. Officials from San Bernardino County Fire and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department were at the scene and were able to extinguish the fire. County fire officials said that the small fire came from what appeared to be an encampment of unhoused people near the wash. On Saturday morning, a structure fire occurred at around 9 a.m. at the corner of Inca Trail in Santa Fe. County fire officials say that a medical engine arrived to find a well-established fire at a vacant building. The fire was extinguished shortly after the engine arrived. The cause of this fire is currently under investigation. County fire officials say there were no injuries at either of the fires. A man opened a box he received at the 29 Palms post office and found a live rattlesnake inside. According to sheriff's deputies assigned to 29 Palms, a man is reported to have picked up a package at the post office, and when he opened the package, he found a live rattlesnake inside. The reporting party told deputies that the package had a return address from Florida and that the snake was left on the side of the road near the post office. Responding deputies identified the rattlesnake as a Northern Pacific rattlesnake. The intent of the sender remains unknown. The investigation into the matter is being handled by the federal postal inspector. No arrests have been made. Among the many agenda items to be considered at tomorrow's 10 o'clock meeting of county supervisors in San Bernardino, a handful of programs in our Morongo Basin will receive funding. Reporter Mike Lipsitz is here to tell us what they are.
Reach Out Morongo Basin will get a $250,000 increase in their contract amount for a total of $635,000. The Morongo Unified School District will receive $34,000 to pay for a full-time school-based probation officer for 1 year starting July. The Morongo Basin Sheriff Station is among 6 that will receive approval to apply for an off-highway motor vehicle grant for $800,000 for off-road law enforcement. And finally, County Service Area 70F, Morongo Valley, is expected to receive approval for plans and specs and to advertise for bids for a water tank replacement project. More details on these items and information on how you can participate in tomorrow's meeting may be found on the Board of Supervisors agenda, which you can access from a link in this story at Z107.7 FM.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, this is Mike Lipsitz.
The 29 Palms Cemetery District Board of Trustees meets in regular session tomorrow afternoon, where they will discuss policies for the upcoming fiscal year and receive a presentation on the preliminary budget. The board will also go into closed session to review the district general manager's contract. The board's meeting is open to the public and begins tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. at 5350 Ancilia Avenue in 29 Palms. The 29 Palms Planning Commission gathers tomorrow evening for a brief agenda that includes development code amendments and an introduction of the new city manager. Reporter Heather Clisby has more.
On Tuesday evening, the 29 Palms Planning Commission meets for a public hearing on proposed amendments to Article 4 of the Development Code, as pre-discussed in mid-April. Some of the proposed changes include the allowance of storage for boats, RVs, and trailers in the front and side yard setbacks of RS and RL zoning districts. Other changes pertain to height limitations, roof pitches, cargo containers, and the construction of guest housing. The meeting will conclude with the introduction of the newly hired city manager, H. Stone James, who began his new position on April 29. James was most recently the Economic Development Director for Cathedral City in Riverside County. The meeting takes place on Tuesday, May 21st at 5 p.m. at City Hall, 6136 Adobe Road. It can be live streamed or viewed on demand via the city's website, 29palms.org. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
Road closures are happening in Yucca Valley this week as the town conducts its annual street maintenance. The town-wide crack slurry and Cape Seal project continues this week and for the next several weeks. Road closures for this week have been announced. During construction operations, detours will be provided for alternative routes. Residents and businesses who may be affected by the work will be notified in advance. You can see the full list of closures at this story at Z107.7fm.com. The volunteers at Theater 29 have been hard at work in preparation for their spring presentation of the musical Nonsense. Arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas shares how you can get in on the Funny Nunny opening night festivities, May 24th.
Opening night tickets are available for the gala opening night performance of the Nunny Funny musical Nonsense at Theater 29, Friday, May 24th at 7 p.m. Benefiting the 29 Palms Kiwanis, this evening will feature heavy hors d'oeuvres, drinks, desserts, and a silent auction beginning at 6 p.m. at 73637 Sullivan Road in 29 Palms. The show is a hilarious spoof about the misadventures of 5 nuns trying to manage a fundraiser, featuring Laura Harwood, Lisa Hodgson, Kimberly Sontag, Tiffany Crocker, and Melissa McNeil. Nonsense is sure to keep audiences rolling with laughter. Opening night tickets are $30 and are available by calling 760-972-7205 or by a limited number on the theater's website. The remaining run through June 9th is available now at theater29.org. Reporting for Z107.7, this is arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas.
And finally, the multi-sport court at Lucky Park opens to the public today. The new courts feature both pickleball and tennis configurations for players on a first-come, first-served basis. Pickleball nets, balls, and paddles can be obtained for use at the Parks and Recreation Department office during regular office hours, with a refundable deposit of $50. The courts will be open until 10 p.m. most nights. A ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new courts will be scheduled for a later date. For more information, visit 29palms.org. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear news happening, let us know about it. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmetz.